Welcome to the tutorial for Model 1045. I've got this pulled up as a PDF. When I had it opened up in a Chrome tab, it wasn't displaying as clearly, and sometimes when I zoomed in on some of the smaller sections, I couldn't see it. Needed to see the difference that in this upper corner of the model, that this is a chamfer right here with the straight line, and that these are all 1.5 millimeter fillets. You can see down here it says 1.5 typical. That means that most of the fillets, unless they specify otherwise, are going to be 1.5 millimeters. Here you can see we've got a chamfer of 1.5, but everywhere else these are chamfers of 1 millimeter on the inside of those holes. So opening this up as a PDF was able to really help me see those more clearly. I'm going to go ahead and split my screen. I know it's going to be a little bit hard at first. But I'm going to save this as model 1045. This is my second time doing it, so I'll save that. I just needed to reference back to the PDF so often that I'm just going to have it open side by side. Once this gets saved, I'll go ahead and hide my data panel. And I've kind of got them overlapping a little bit so I can see what I need to over here. So I'm going to start out creating the sketch. Now I want to make sure that I'm in millimeters. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to go ahead and start with this big circle. I'll make this my origin, and I'll move out here to the right, and then vertically as well. So I'm going to create a center circle. The first one is a radius of 44 millimeters. A diameter of 44 millimeters. That's this one right here, 44. I have to come down here to see that the inside diameter is 30. And that is the inside of that hole. And I can also see that there's a bigger flange. This says radius of 35. So that's going to be a diameter of 70. And those are the three holes I have right there. I'm going to go ahead and draw. This is eventually going to be a construction line. I'm going to draw this out here. Turn this into a whoops-a-daisy. Turn that into a construction line. And I know that this center of all this stuff is 100 millimeters from that center. So we'll go ahead and define that as 100. And I can kind of start putting in these circles. And then same thing. It says that this outer is a radius of 15, and this outer radius is 15, but it tells me in here that the inside diameter is 20. So I'm going to go ahead and do that inside diameter of 20. That outside circle with a radius of 15 will have a diameter of 30. So I'll go ahead and put that in there. I'm going to draw another line. This is going to be another construction line. I'm just going to go ahead and draw this vertically upward. And I will turn this into a construction line as well. And I know that from this center to this center is 110. So half of that is going to be 55 millimeters. And I can kind of go draw these circles. This really big outer one is 15. That, let me zoom in a little bit here. And this really big one on the outside is a radius of 15. So that's going to be a diameter of 30. This is a diameter of 20. And we still need this inside diameter. And we can get that from over here. It's a diameter of 12. So I actually need, up here, a diameter of 12. That's the inside. I need a diameter of 20. And then I also need a diameter of 30. So let me kind of zoom in and clean that up a little bit. Drawing this one, the 20, and the 30, and the 12. Kind of stick those out there. So you can see those three circles. That distance is 55, so I think that'll be okay. And then I think I'll go ahead and just use the mirror command create a mirror. I want these 3 circles and my mirror line right there. So I've got the same circles down there. Let's say OK. And I need to kind of draw this connector line all the way down here. And I want to make sure it's tangent. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to grab the farthest out point. So I'm going to kind of miss on purpose. I'm going to make sure it's vertical, because that's what I need. And then I'm going to come back and use the tangent constraint to make sure that that is vertical right there. And then same thing. I need to come down and do this portion, and this portion they need to connect with that fillet. So I'm just going to grab this one and come straight down, and just leave it there. We'll grab the tangent constraint. I'm going to grab another one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to miss on purpose, but I'm going to make sure that I don't hit that circle. I'm going to make sure that this thing is horizontal, that it comes in there perpendicular. And then I'll use the tangent constraint again. So that's tangent. And then I can use the coincident constraint to make this dot coincident to that dot, and then kind of shortens it up right where I need it. And I'll just go ahead and mirror that as well. I need those 2 lines mirrored across here. Okay. And I think that's good for my base sketch. I think. Famous last words. Okay, we'll give it a try and we'll see if I forgot anything. So we'll finish sketch. We'll go ahead and I like to do my extrusions on the isometric view so I can kind of see them shooting upward. So we'll start with this base plate. You can kind of see that it's 10 millimeters is the thick part. And I know it's 7. How do I know it's 7? Somewhere in here it tells me it's 7 millimeters. Oh, over here to the side. Okay. It tells me the thin part is 7 and the thick part is 10. So I'm going to extrude this base part, which is 7 millimeters up. We'll say OK. Of course, that turns off our sketch, so we'll turn it back on. And then this wide ring is going to be the 10 millimeters. So we'll hit another extrude. Do the 10 millimeters there. And this says new body. I want to make sure this is on join. And say OK. And then the really tall part, this is where it gets a little crazy. I'm going to zoom in here. And from the very bottom, the tall part comes out here, and it's 33. And there's some different craziness going on, but for right now, all we need to know is this comes up 33. So we'll come in here, grab extrude again. That ring should come up 33. I want that to be a join. Okay, make sure I've only got one body, so I've got everything joined together. So we'll come back here and do these. Obviously, this is the tall one. For the bottom all the way top, this is 85. So we'll come in here to that ring and say 85, and it's on join like that. And then these guys on the sides are really tiny. I think this here, these are the 2 sides, and this is the front end. These are the 2 sides, so these are 10 here on the sides. And same thing, I can see this 10 thickness is on this front. So this 10 millimeters tells me this is how thick this front piece was, and this 10 back here tells me that's how high those guys were. So I think I should have done this. Let me extrude. Let me go back. I think my first extrude with the 7 millimeters, I should have included both of those rings. Let's say OK. Because I can see on this sketch that 7 millimeters is the outer side part. The little higher part is the 10 millimeters. So now I've got the low part as 7. And now I can extrude these up to 10. Well, that's a taper angle. I don't want to do that. Oh no, it's not straight. Okay. We'll turn off the sketch. And I think that is the start of this model. Let me go ahead and save this. We'll call it extrude. Because it's extruding the whole sketch upwards. Sure if those are all right. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to look at is drawing this kind of flange between this flat circle that's a little bit bigger and this really tall one. So I'm going to sketch kind of on that plane right there. If I zoom out really far, you can kind of see that plane cuts my model. So sorry. See that plane cuts my model in half right there, and that's the plane that I want to sketch on. So if you make your model really small, it's easy to grab that plane. I need some of this geometry, so I'm going to do the intersect. Make sure my selection filter is on the body. Select this, it should all be one body, and OK. And now you can see all those purple lines. If I go back to the home view, you can kind of see I've got all those places where that center plane slices through there. That's going to make it a lot easier for me to draw this in. I think this is going to come over. I'm not going to worry about where this goes. You know what? I'm actually going to, when I put I will put it right here. I'll show you the whole process. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I filled it in nice and blue because I've done that projection. I need to measure this from here to here, and that needs to be 14 degrees. So we'll come back into here, type in 14. And I thought that I was all good. I can come back here and I can do this extrude. I can grab that profile. I can go symmetric 2 sides. And when you look at it, it says that it's 8 thick. So I did the whole distance is 8. I'm going to join that in there. And I thought, wow, that's absolutely fantastic. Until I zoomed in and I saw that it really didn't quite go far enough over here, that it didn't really intersect. You can kind of see there's some gaps down there where it doesn't really quite hit that body all the way. It hits at the very front point, but when the curve starts going away from it, it doesn't really connect. And then I've got that same problem over here, is it gets close, but doesn't really get all the way into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to this sketch, and on this side, instead of just stopping right here, I'm just going to carry this line. Nope. When I click on that, it's got that coincident constraint. So I'm going to right-click on that coincident constraint and delete it. And then I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to. I want that dot. Oh, delete the whole line. Okay. Just as good. I'm going to take my line, and instead of stopping right here on the edge, I'm going to go inside a little bit. Not far enough to cross into the inside of the cylinder, but into the body right here. And I'm going to place it right there and say I'm okay with it. And then, of course, this managed to mess itself up. I don't know how I did that. And this dot should be over there. Okay, so this goes all the way inside. And then because I did that, I need to bring it all the way down. And snap to there, and then over. So that's an enclosed region as well. I'm going to extrude all of that. So now I can finish my sketch. Whoops. I need to turn it back on. I'm going to turn the body off just for a second. That's going to kind of freak out at me. When I grab the extrude, I want this part and the part that's inside that cylinder a little bit. And then I'm going to go symmetric. I'm going to turn if I try to extrude it now, it's going to say you're creating a part that's invisible. Let me see if it gives me that error again. 8 millimeters is the thickness. It says, hey, it's not visible, so I got to turn this back on. I've already grabbed my sketch. I'm going to make sure this is a join, and I'm going to say OK. And I can turn off sketch 2. So that kind of fixed this side of things, where this goes all the way into the object now, and it's a nice clean cut right there. Not a clean cut, but a clean intersection. But down here, I'm still having issues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit another extrude. I'm going to grab that face and that face, both of those planar faces. And I'm just going to extrude them, same thing, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I'm going to extrude them into there and say join. And then say OK. So it's not a perfect joint. It kind of comes straight in, and that's the top. But I think that when we look at our model, it's hard to zoom in here. This is just a picture image, so it's not super detailed. But it certainly looks like this top surface scoots up there. That's a straight line, so that's not a fillet. So I think that this will work for us and be close enough. So we'll go ahead and save this. We'll say this is our second extrude. My first extrude was everything vertically out of that sketch. My second extrude is this one with that web. And then I need to do these webs on this side, these triangles on the side. Okay, so I need a sketch plane down here. My sketch planes are all right here in my origin. So I need to construct an offset plane. I want this plane, but I want it all the way down here in the middle. And if I look at my dimensions, this is 100 millimeters away. If I kind of look at it from the top, you can kind of see that that's right dead center, and it's 100 millimeters. So I'm going to select OK. I made a sketch plane right there, and then this is where I'm going to sketch on that sketch plane. That's where I'm going to sketch this flange and this flange. Once again, I need to create an intersection wherever this body intersects that plane. Once again, looking at the isometric view, you can kind of see I've got the outside edge where it cuts through, and then all those other pieces. I really just need this point and this point. I'll go back to the sketch view, grab the line tool, and go from that corner all the way up, and from that corner all the way back down. And it makes a nice blue shaded area, lets me know that I got that area enclosed. I'm going to hit finish sketch, and then I'm going to extrude this area and this area. And let me look for the thickness. Right there, it's 8 millimeters again. So I'm going to say symmetric, hold distance is 8. Okay. But same kind of thing. I've got this going in. The reason why I took this and extruded it straight in is because I was kind of flush with the top. The reason why I extended this line farther in is because I wasn't flush with the top, I was just going into the body. So on all of these, I'm going to use that same trick. I'm going to hit the extrude. And this one grabs that entire face. And I'm just going to kind of drag it into there. I'm going to go, I guess a millimeter is enough. I'm going to make sure I get it all the way in. So I got that face going in. I'm going to kind of slide my model view around and zoom in here. Grab the extrude command. Grabs that whole face. And just 1.5 millimeters should be plenty. I'm going to join that together. I'm going to come down here to this one. Grab the extrude. And this time I only grabbed half of it, so I'm going to make sure I grab the other half. And extrude that all the way in. This time it wants to do a cut, so I'll make it a join. And say OK. And around here to this other side. Kind of zoom in. Extrude that face and that face. Just enough to get in there. And we want to join. Okay. All right, so we're close. One thing I had to do now, let's go into this face, pick at the front, is I need this weird thing on the front. Okay. So I want another sketch. I need a sketch plane right here in the front of this cylinder. So I'm going to do tangent at a plane, or a tangent plane. So I'm going to say tangent to this face. And it kind of sets up off the default of my model. And it's nice that it's got it right there at 0 degrees. And that's exactly what I want. So I can just go ahead, oops, this view, and just say, okay, that's where I want my sketch plane. So create a sketch on this plane. And once again, I want to do an intersection. I need some of this geometry right here on the front. So make sure this is on the body filter. And it's going to give me that vertical line right there where it's tangent, as well as some of these other purple lines right here where it cuts across the base. So now I kind of got to zoom in. So sorry, I'm going to zoom in this drawing a little bit. This is a little chaotic. All right, so this dashed line right here is the center of that hole. And I know that that is 20 above. And this little diameter 10 comes from the top and bottom of the hole. So I know that I need a 10 millimeter circle. I'm going to make sure I stay away from the origin and that I stay away from anywhere that it locks in. I just want to make it kind of out there in the middle of nowhere. If it locks to the origin, I won't be able to dimension it. So we go from this bottom line to the circle. And I know that that was 20. So I've got that in the right place. If the center of this thing is at 20 and the hole is 10 wide, that means the top of this, if the center is at 20, then the top of this is at 25. And if the top of this is 25 and this is 30, that means from this center up here, this is 5 to 25, and then 5 more to 30. So it's 5 and 5 up. So this circle right here is going to have a diameter. Oh, so sorry. This is a diameter 10. This is going to have a diameter of 20. So sorry, I forgot what I was doing. The center right here is at 20. This is at the 25. This tells me it's at 30, so I know it's 5 more. So if this has got a 5 radius, then this has got a 10 radius, which means it's a 20 diameter. So when I put this at a 20 diameter, it touches right there at the bottom, which is perfect. Let me clean this up a little bit by sliding these out here. I'll use that same trick again. I'm going to draw this line. I'm going to miss on purpose. I'm not going to try to get the far outside of the circle because I don't know where that's going to be. So I'm just going to miss on purpose. I need to make sure that I am vertically downward. Right there. We'll do it again. It's got to be vertically downward. And then I can use the tangent constraint to make sure it's all the way out here where it needs to be. Sometimes you kind of just draw it out here and it looks good, but it's not really as far as it needs to be. All right, so we can finish that. We'll come up here to this view. Now we can extrude once again. And we're going to extrude. This time we're going to go 2 sides, but not symmetric. So I want this and this bottom chunks as well. So this side, how far do I want to come out? Let me see. From the center of here out to the front of that little bump is 28. Okay. I know that this diameter is 44. So from the center to here, if the diameter is 44, that means this radius is 22. And then this is 28. So from the front of this circle, which is at 22 to 28, this has got to stick out 6 millimeters from that very front part. Okay, so I can put that in. Good night. There's 6. Okay, so that's how far that sticks out, and I forgot to do the second part, edit feature. The side 2 taper, I want this to come into there, and I can go to Object, and I can say this circle, and it's going to give me two options. The minimum solution, where it goes to this first edge of the circle, or the maximum solution, where it goes all the way through. I want the minimum. I want this to extrude just so it hits. And then whether I want chain faces or extend faces, I just want to extend this in. I think that's going to work. And then I want this to join as well. Oh, there we go. I did throw a fit. Let me check on my bodies. Oop, I got two bodies. So somewhere I forgot. This should all be one body. Okay, so when I did that triangular extrude back there, is where I forgot to do the join. Is that right? Let's go back and check this. No, it says join. I should only have one body, so somewhere I forgot to join it. Let me pause this and find it, and then I'll show you. Okay, so all I did is I went through all of my extrudes one by one, and I found out that this was the culprit. So if I right-click and hit Edit Feature, you can see that this was left on New Body rather than Join. So all I have to do is come back here, select Join, and hit OK. And then it brings me back to just one body instead of two. So we'll go ahead and save this. I can't remember how many extrudes this is. I know I extruded the front little knob thing on the end there. So we'll get it. Okay. So I think that's all the extrudes, right? I certainly hope so. Okay. So I'm going to do the easy stuff first. Oh, you know what? There's a little radius 10 right here. So let me put that fillet in. That's much more of a structural fillet than the other ones. All the little 1.5 millimeter fillets are just kind of to make it look nice. I want to make sure that I get this one in first, so it won't interfere with those edges. And it took me quite a while last time to get all of these fillets in here nice. I'm going to do the chamfer, and the nice thing about the chamfer, it's these 1 millimeters at the top and bottom. Top and bottom of here. This one's a weird one. It's 1.5, but this one's got a 1 just on the front. That when you're doing a chamfer, instead of having to get this top circle and come down here to get this bottom circle, if I just grab this face, the inside of those circles, and then say 1 millimeter, it's going to do both of them for me. And then I can swing around the front, and I can kind of mix and match. I'm just going to grab, no, it's not going to let me. Okay, so I'll say those are all 1 millimeters. It did this, and if you kind of flip under here to the bottom, you can see it did all the bottoms as well. I'm just going to grab this one. We'll do it separately. It's fine by me. Oh, that hole didn't go all the way through. Okay, I definitely need to fix that. So that's a 1 millimeter fillet right there. Here's my little knobbin. Oh, because I did the circle just enough so it'd get in, not all the way through. That's okay. So I can come in here to... I don't need another sketch because I've already got this extrude. I'm going to grab this profile. Wait. Which sketch was that? Nope. Wait for that for a second. Let me cancel that extrude. Okay, so let me now create an extrusion. Extrusion tries to help and doesn't know which circle I want. Good gravy. Fine. I'll grab both of those. Do it the hard way. I'm going to say, if I go all, it's going to cut it all the way through everything, and I don't want to go that far. So I'll just kind of eyeball this one. And I'll make sure I get all the way through into the center here. And we'll say OK. So now if I come back out here and look at this. Oh, I don't know if it went all the way through or not. Oh yeah, I can kind of see the white part of the graph paper. If I look all the way through, I just see the other side and it looks gray anyway, but you can kind of catch a little glimpse that I made it all the way through right there. Okay, so I'll turn that sketch off. I can redo that chamfer. Okay. So we'll go ahead and save that. Okay, and I think those are all the major points. Now I've just got to do a ton of fillets. And rather than trying to grab every single edge and do them all at once, I'm going to do them just a few at a time. That way if I miss one, I don't have to go back and get all the edges again. Now there's some ways that are easier than others. I tried to kind of grab all of these circles. Oops, that's not what I wanted. When I grab the fill command, I try to grab all these edges right here. I got in here to this tiny one and put the 1.5 millimeter fillet on there. But then when I came back and tried to do this edge and this edge, it threw a fit. 1.5. You can kind of see it's thrown an error. So there were some times that I had to go back and delete this. And I found out, and it was completely by trial and error, that if I did this edge and this edge, that it worked better. So I'm going to go ahead and grab all four of those. This vertical and this angle. Come around here to this side. Vertical and an angle. Angle and then the vertical. So sometimes the order you do it is going to make a difference. So that does that. And now when I come up here to put a fillet on this top, it grabs this whole ring. I can do 1.5, and now it works nice and pretty. So sometimes the order does matter. So it may take a little while to kind of play around with all these things. I also found out that when you do a fillet, I can't grab this face and this other side face, but if I grab this face and the one on the other side, that they're not touching, and say 1.5, and it puts a fillet. Okay. So down here at the very bottom, this bottom part wasn't connected to here because I never extended it through. So now that I try to do that fillet, instead of joining the fillet and kind of sweeping it outwards like this, since these aren't connected, it's going to fillet it inward. So we got to go fix that. So let me delete that fillet. And the problem is that thing never connected. I got most of them, but not all of them. So I need to get where I can grab this face and the other face. I need to extrude that face right there. Let me swing around to the other side. And zoom in like crazy. And get that face right there. I need to get both of those. I just need those to join with everything else. Okay. Save that. This is easy to get to 6 saves on this guy. So now I'm going to try the fillet. I'm going to grab this side as well as this side. I'm going to grab the line instead. Okay, so I got the two faces. I'm going to plug in 1.5 and hit enter. And now you can see it's given me a bunch of those fillets all at once. I have to look at the drawing. Yeah, that top part. Oops, it went the wrong way. This top part is filleted. This is just a JPEG of the image, so I can't zoom in here. If I zoom in too far, it just turns to junk. But I can see. Good night. Do what I want you to do. There we go. So sorry. I can see that that's filleted right there. So I'm going to grab a fillet, put it on there, 1.5. That looks good. So I'm not so sure what's going on down here. It did this one side and the other side differently. And I know that I grabbed both of those and they kind of went in there. But this is just the way that Fusion solved it. And there's no way that I can adjust that. It did one side differently than it did the other side. So it may not be 100% perfect. Ooh, I realized I forgot to chamfer this. So let me go ahead. At this point, just kind of cleaning up all the. I don't know if I don't want to put a chamfer on that. So let me cancel out of this. I'll just select them individually. This and this. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the one spot where it's a 1.5 chamfer instead of a 1.5 instead of a 1. So that's a 1.5 chamfer, that little flat edge there. So I'm going to put a fillet on this top edge. It's going to do some weird things. 1.5. So this one looks a little bit smoother. This one doesn't. And I wasn't able to fix that. So I just kind of left it. If you found a way to get that little corner perfect, I'd love to hear about it. I don't know why mine messed up. But for all the things I tried, I couldn't get it to go any nicer. So we'll add some more 1.5 millimeter fillets in here. All of these can go in this top ring and the bottom ring. This top part, this bottom part. As well as that. And I think all of these things too. This may freak out Fusion. There may be too many. And the problem is if one of these won't compute, then I'm going to lose all of them. So that's like I've got 32 edges going right here. And it's nice if they all work, because I got 39 of them done in one go. But if it doesn't work, then I have to select all 39 of those again. And this time it did. So I kind of got lucky there. I got a whole bunch of them done. I think this one right here gets filleted as well. So let me double check the drawing. It certainly looks like all that's filleted in there. It's kind of hard to tell. So we'll grab that one right there and put the 1.5 in. Oops. Yep, and it says I can't do it. So let me try. $1.5. Okay, there you go. Worked out nice. Let me swing around to the other side. Grab that one right there. See if I can grab both of those at the same time. I think I missed this vertical one right here. I don't know if there's any way to grab that now. Select. You can tell it's only letting me select I don't think that's good. Yeah, it's not happy with that. Okay, so I'm gonna have to delete that. And this one was over there, that's okay. And see, it's this big massive one. I didn't grab this inside part. And when I right click on here and try to edit feature and select another face, it kind of all goes away on this big one. So I'm going to have to delete that one. And that's the danger of doing too many at once. Okay, so let me just concentrate on the circles. This one and this one. And I'm going to do this vertical, and this, and this. Whoa, that's crazy. All right. So we can get all those just on that one edge. Nope, and it doesn't like it. So I'm just going to try. So I just try to keep simplifying. I don't know what the magic sauce was last time to get it to go. That looks a lot nicer. And let's see if I can grab this one right here. Okay, that worked out really well. So all I did was grab the fill tool. Let's grab those two corners. I did those at 1.5. And then I can grab that and this whole top ring and the whole bottom ring. And that seemed to get everything in there. So now I can come over here to the front side. Let me do this. Let me save it. Oh, that's a good idea. That did a whole half the model. Look at this other half. Let's fill up those guys. Gonna come in here. Grab this back side. Okay, so hopefully at this point you're getting the idea that there's a million fillets on this. And you're just gonna have to spend some time tracking them through, making sure you get all of them, and making sure they all work. And if I don't want 135 faces. Okay. It doesn't hold undo. That's what I get. Okay. So let me do this top ring. And this. As well as that. When I do too many is when it goes haywire. Okay. Grab the bottom. Let's grab all the bottom parts. 1.5. And we'll see if we can't grab these last ones. Oops, I forgot that part. We'll see how it goes. There you go. Okay. Certainly think I got them all, but who knows? Okay, whenever I hit the home button, it turns and faces this way, which is not the way that my model is on the PDF. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my front face and click over here and click to this corner. which is the way I want it. And now I'm going to go ahead and click on this little arrow right here and set this current view as home, where it's fit to view. So now whenever I click on home, if I kind of move around and hit the home button, it goes to this view right here. I can also, let me click on this face right here, and I'm going to say that this is, don't be difficult. I'm going to set current view as a front. So instead of this being the left view, when I click over here on front, this is now the front view. My axes are still in the same place, but this is my front, my right, and my top. And now it looks the right way. And we'll go ahead and hit the A key for appearance. I had to click on the little arrow down here to download this last time. I'm going to grab this green. We'll throw it on there. And that's the model. Okay. We'll hit close. We'll save one last time. And then real quick, I'm going to start the drawing. I'll take all these defaults and say OK. For a while, I wasn't putting millimeters on my drawings. I need a second to load up the blank sheet. I wasn't putting millimeters on my drawings. I had to come in here. We'll go to the northeast view where we want it. We'll put it up here in the top right. And we'll leave this as 1 to 2. There's a lot of stuff. Oh, I gotta remember. I'm gonna actually put it in the top left this time. So we want to match the PDF we were given. And I want that to be shaded. We'll say OK. A lot of times when I was putting units in my drawing, they weren't showing up. And that's because this display units was set to no. I actually had to go into my preferences. I think the default setting for the ISO that we're using is to not put them in there. So I had to come down right here to drawing. Yeah, I came down here to drawing, checked this box that said override defaults, and then clicked this box for display units dimensions. That saved it so that every time I open up a drawing, it opens up the way I want it. Hit apply. If it doesn't work, then you can just come down here, click document settings, and make sure this is set on yes if you're having problems getting your dimensions to display. So I'll go ahead, I'll put this top view in here, grab a base view, and we'll come to our top view. And that's not the way I want it. So I may have to rearrange these on here. I don't know that I can rotate that base view. Okay, so let me, we'll put this base view, I think I figured it out, top, 1 to 2, okay, like that, and say okay. Let me grab this rotate command, grab this thing, and then rotate. What's a base point? How do I want to rotate it by? Fine, we'll rotate that, and we'll go 90 degrees. That didn't do what I wanted. All right, hold on a second. Okay, I think I got it. We're going to put down our base view. It's going to be the top view. And we're just going to set it right there and say OK. And then we're just going to grab the rotate command, grab this view, and we want to rotate it. For the base point, I just picked the center of the circle. And instead of being out here, we want it to come down right there, which is 270 degrees. So I set that, and now we've got it the right direction. So I'm going to say OK. Once you've got this in the right spot, you can kind of grab that gray triangle, the gray rectangle, and move it where you want to. The thing that we need to add is the center line. Actually, I'm going to mark the center of our circles first. And then I can do this center line from the center here. Center line. That's what it wants to go. There's the edge, and I can escape out of that, and then I can make this line longer. We had to do this on the model 822 as well. And then once I get that long line, then I can come in here and do the section view. It wants me to select the parent view. And then actually for the AA, it wants me to do that one. So let me do the same thing. We'll do the center edge from here to here. We'll escape out of that tool. We'll select it. I want that gray area to go all the way through both ends of the model. And now I can come up here and do the section view. From my parent view, I'm going to go from here all the way out to the end and then do the check mark. And then I'm going to drag this one. And same thing, this is upside down. We learned how to fix that, so we'll go ahead, put it right there, and say OK. Okay, I just realized that their BB view or their AA from here to here, it cuts to the center of that flange, but it doesn't have that flange marked as a hatch mark. So I think ours is correct. But this is upside down, so once again we'll go to this rotate command, select it. It's not let me select that object. Okay. So this has been a little difficult. If you can't get these in the right orientation, that's fine. It'll have to be upside down. I don't know if my Fusion is just having problems or I'm making this harder than it should be. I don't know why it's not selecting this as an object. Okay. So you can kind of put all the dimensions on here. They'll be upside down. Maybe if I didn't, let me go ahead back and hit save on my drawing. I can come back here and let me, I'm going to undo the appearance. I fixed some of those fillets. I was going to set this back to the way I had it before, but I'd have to get rid of all those fillets that I fixed. So maybe messing up the home view, messed up my drawing. But you know how to do a section view now. Once you've got the lines extended through, click on the section view. Select the parent view, and then the start, and the finish of the view, the green check mark, and then you should be able to drag it where you want it. And once again, this is facing a different direction than it is in the drawing. I should be able to flip it, but the rotate thing is not playing nice with me right now. I don't know why. Let me save it real quick. So if you can't get these in the right direction, that's okay. Just go ahead and put the rest of the dimensions on. These are the two cutout views. You also need the front view and the right view as well, as addition to the section views. But hopefully the model was the tricky part, doing the drawing. Even if yours is kind of facing weird directions like mine. I guess the easiest way to fix that. I can select this drawing and move this down, and then select this. And, oh, there we go. I just want to move this up top. Okay. You ever have those days where things just don't work? Slide it up here. And now it's still facing the wrong way. Okay, let me try this real quick. Delete that. I'm going to try a new section view. It's real picky about where in the drawing I'm cutting. Let's let me put it up. There you go. So I'll just put mine up there like that. So this view is on top, this view is right here, and you can put the other views. Let me do the front view real quick. We'll stick that out here. And then we'll also do the side view. That was harder than I wanted it to be. Click on the right. There you go. Place this one down here. It should be in line with this, but I'm going to run in the box, so I'm just going to stick it over here. If I had more time, I could rearrange those. But now I can go ahead and put in all of the dimensions. These views right here actually don't have hidden edges, so I can just say that. No hidden edges. It does have the center mark on that circle. You put that in there, and then you can start going ahead and putting all the dimensions in. Okay. This one, I'm going to get myself more trouble. I should just walk away. It doesn't have that vertical edge right there, so let me click on the tangent edges. I think that's going to put in too many. Yeah, that puts in all the tangent edges. Let's try and see if I can just get the one to show up. This vertical one. But it's not playing nice. And that's way too many of those, so we'll just leave it off. Okay. So there are all the views. You can go ahead and put the dimensions on. And then once you have the dimensions done, you can save it as a PDF and put it in your homework file. Okay, your student engineering notebook. Okay, so let me save this one last time. Say okay. I'm going to go back to my model. I'm going to leave the appearance on there and save this, and I'm just going to go ahead and stop making changes, stop messing things up. So that's the tutorial on how to do the model. And then I got you started the drawing, making sure that you can do the cross-section views. You're going to have to put in all the dimensions yourself. Okay, let me update that and then save it. Okay, thank you so much. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.